going to cover asynchronous loading component or loading components asynchronously. So in order to do that, I first have to do some cleanup. So let me open my app.vue. So app.vue has some code where I'm loading a component based on a condition. So I'm just getting rid of that and I'm just going to have only one component, which is my left image component. The left image component is the one that has image to the left and then the profile details to the right. So that I'm going to simulate as if that the profile details is going to come from an external source. So I'm going to delay that loading and then that's where I can use an asynchronous loading of the component. So in order to do that, first of all, the left image component, I will have to define the function. So the function is a callback. So define async component. This is the keyword that I need to use. Now I have to say constant, then I have to define an async function that will be used as the tag also here, equal to, now use the keyword define async component and then write the necessary logic within the bracket inside flower braces. Here you have different sections. One is the loader. The loader is what goes off and downloads the actual component. So you write that within curly braces or as ever with any arrow function, open and close bracket, arrow key. Then you go and write your, here you have to write your import. This is an asynchronous call, while what you have here is a synchronous call. So comment that for now and use the asynchronous call for now. So just use this import. So while this goes and imports the component, you need to have a loading component. The loading component is used to intimate what is happening in the front end. So ideally this would be a cartwheel that's running. So I'm just going to create that loading component. So insert new file, loading component dot view. So this loading component will have a template open and close tag because we will be writing some HTML elements, and inside that template tag you are adding a div, which is a container to have the image tag. So inside the image tag src equal to, I already have a GIF to display the cartwheel or in progress circle. So I say asset slash, the name of that is loading hyphen gif dot gif, loading gif dot gif. Because I know the size of this particular file or the width and height, I'm just going to ensure that it's not more than 125px, height again 125px. Now this is set. I have a div, so I'll specify the style for that also. The style should be applicable only within this file. So scoped is the keyword. So I close the style and I'll say dot container because that's the class name I'm going to use. Just going to say text align so that my image centered within the div. So this class will be added to my div. That's it. So my loading component is ready. I'll also add an error component because that is also part of my define async component syntax. Error component dot view. Again the same process, template tags. Now let's keep this straightforward because I don't envision any errors because nothing is coming from the network. I'm going to simulate a v for condition in the profile component, and that's what is going to cause the delay, and during that delay the loading component will be shown. So I've got the error component, I've got the loading component. Now I go back again to the left image component, yes, and I'm going to, because this is has to be imported, right? Because I created the component, I also have to import it. So I would say import loading component. This is the same location as my current file, which is the left image component or whatever the other files. So say from loading component dot view, because this is in the same location and it is not heavy, it's just loading an image, so it's loaded as synchronously error component, and it is shown until your loader is actually having the original component. So now there is a keyword called delay, which is useful to say how soon the loading component should be shown once the loader goes to pick up the actual component. I'm saying 0 because everything is happening in my machine, which is my local machine, nothing going over the network. All I want to see is the loading component showing something in the front end. So I'm going to say the delay is 0. Now error component is going to be error component. This is in case if there is an error due to timeout. The timeout I'm for now specifying as 2 seconds. In this case, it's 2000 milliseconds. So I've done all the basics here. Only thing is I need to use this variable here because that is commented. The other one, which is synchronous, is commented. So everything seems good at this point. Only thing is we have to go to the profile details and let's add a for loop to force a delay. Span b-for equal to x in 200k, and I'm not going to display the x, just closing it because it's a forced delay. That's it. That's the whole idea. So now I've got everything ready. Autosave is here in Visual Studio Code. The hot reload should have the latest changes. Let's see what happens. It's loading. Yes, I've got it here, but I've always seen that only during the second load, yeah, the GIF kicks in. So that's the intention. The loader, whenever it goes off, then the loading component fires and it shows this GIF. So that's an overview of the loading the async component for defining an async component and using it to load while the load data is getting loaded in the backend. Hope this was useful. Thank you.